Chancellorsville, sometimes referred to as Robert Lee's perfect battle. This fight saw the CSA totally rout the Union force, despite only having about half their size. However, the actual casualties for the fight saw a loss of almost 13,000 men for the CSA, and only 17,000 for the Union, so there's some room for improvement. But make no mistake, this stage will be costly. If anyone's been wondering why I've been sitting on this many men and not doing anything with them, stages like this are the reason. So, first up, my 1st Corps Cavalry got their 2nd perks. The bad news is, like many perks, some of these are bugged. The good news is, none of them are ruined by the bugs, and one may actually be better than advertised. Sadly, not the one I'll be taking, but let's start with the Reconnaissance Course perk. Despite what it says here, it actually seems to give out 5 firearms, 5 melee, and an impressive 20% spotting and stealth. If you are using cavalry in your own game as recon units, this is an amazing perk to pick up. The cavalry training perks bug is that the 5 stamina doesn't appear to work, but the 15 melee and 25% charge damage do, making it a great perk for melee-based cavalry, so I'll drop it on my 2 melee teams. And the shooting training perk works as advertised, so I'll drop it on my skirmish squad. Over in the barracks, I'll grab the Lone General. From the Armory tab, I'll buy 400 Colt 1855 weapons for my upcoming melee cavalry of the other 2 corps. I'll end up throwing them on the horses of 2nd Corps, but hold off on the 3rd Corps just yet. Then, in the Artillery tab, I'll grab the Tregegars, 24-pound howitzers, and 20-pound Parrots. I don't think I'll need to buy the 10-pound Parrots anymore. I'm going to start upping the long-range batteries I do have from 10-pound Parrots to the 20-pounders, and I can then slide the 10-pounders down to 3rd Corps when needed to make their long-range batteries. In the Reputation menu, I'll grab the CS Richmond Rifles, even with the high price tag of 20 points. This stage gives 25 rep points for a victory, and I don't want them to go to waste. Now let me fade to the part after I've taken care of the big stuff. So, I've moved the cavalry back to their position in 3rd Division and refilled all brigades to their nominal numbers. 1st Division is now all infantry, and 2nd Division all cannons. That has to do with the random order that the troops will filter in during the stage. Robert Lee is now in charge of 1st Corps, and the Mouse Master himself is in charge of 2nd. Both are spec'd like Johnston, except instead of their 1st tier perk being training, it will be movement speed. And speaking of Johnston, he's sitting on 3rd Corps. I haven't spent the 2nd perk point on any of the scrub teams in 1st or 2nd Corps yet. I'll wait till after I get back to camp. So, as for the stage. Note right here. In most maps, you can lose, and all you'll take is a hit to your numbers. But this stage, we cannot lose or the war ends on the spot. Not that I'm worried. After the Union's severe losses at Fredericksburg, the Army of the Potomac's commander, General Burnside, has been replaced by Major General Joseph Hooker. We still hold the Federals behind the Rappahannock River, and our corps stretch out to secure Virginia's borders. Our cavalry has spotted Hooker's forces crossing the Rappahannock River from the western fords. The troops in Fredericksburg are merely demonstrating an attack, while his main army is attempting to flank us. We face a serious threat of double envelopment from east and west, while being seriously outnumbered because Longstreet is laying siege to Suffolk. Hooker must be confident that he has outmaneuvered us and we will now withdraw. But we have other plans. We shall take 2 of our best corps, leaving Fredericksburg almost defenseless, and send the Yankees back to Washington. This stage is 3 days. Day 1 starts here and expands to a 2nd phase, but only by like a few pixels. Day 2 opens up pretty much the entire map for a single phase, and Day 3 has 2 phases. The first narrows the map down to the farm objective, and the 2nd phase deals with a map narrowed down to the 2 road junction objectives. And this stage has 3 massive surprises. Surprises, which, just like my Warzone 2100 series before this, is why I chose this game to make a guide for. It's one thing to throw in an unexpected twist that you have to react to in stage, lest you lose that stage. It's another thing entirely to throw in a twist that if you hadn't set up for it before the twist happens, your stage, or possibly entire campaign, is at risk. And what are those 3 twists? I'll tell you one of them right now. If you haven't won this stage by the end of the first phase of day 3, then you don't get to win this stage at all. Or, said another way, if you so much as start the second phase of day 3, the best you can do is a draw. Which goes against how the game has been conditioning you so far. While the stage timers may not have always been accurate, you knew that you had at least that much time to win. This stage, it's the opposite. If you try to play the whole stage out, you actually can't win. The second surprise is that your forces get shuffled at the start of each day. You don't get to deploy anyone on day 1. They instead come in piecemeal. On day 2, everyone gets shuffled around, and again, you don't get to do any deployment, they come in as they want to. And then on day 3, everyone gets removed from the battlefield again. Although at least for day 3, you then get to redeploy them yourself. As for the third surprise, stick around, you'll find out. There is a silver lining from a strategic standpoint. This map has 3 objective areas. If you manage to fully own them at the end of either day 1 phase 2, day 2, or day 3 phase 1, you end the stage in victory. So there is a fast and cheap way to win this stage. It involves throwing caution to the wind on day 1, leaving a skeleton crew at the first 2 objectives to make sure they don't get backdoored, and making a massive all-infantry push to the 3rd objective before the Union have set up a full defense. It's a charge over open ground, so there's a good chance you'll end up with a losing casualty ratio. But if you are trying to preserve as many men as you can this stage, say maybe you're on a higher difficulty, then the few thousand you lose in a massive charge will be way fewer losses than playing the whole stage out. But I plan on taking this stage to its final victory option of day 3 phase 1, and crushing the entire Union force while I'm at it. So my strategy on the first 2 days will be to choose portions of the Union force to eliminate, and then use the 3rd day to wipe out the depleted remainder. Also, one other note, the winning goal is to hold the 3 objective areas. If you, somehow, eliminate the entire Union force, but didn't take control of the objective points first, you actually end the stage in a draw or possibly even a loss. So don't forget that farm. Union forces have crossed the western fords of the Rappahannock River and are now marching inside Confederate territory. We detected enemy infantry marching down U.S. Ford Road. More Union infantry is heading our way from Eli's Ford Road and Orange Turnpike. It seems they are massing to attack our left, and their forces in Fredericksburg are only demonstrating an attack. It's a trap. They are establishing a camp at Chancellor's Farm, and tomorrow they will be a serious threat. We must attack them before they consolidate their position. Stop entrenching. Tomorrow we will attack and surprise Hooker. Union 5, 12, and 2 Corps are at Chancellorsville and are preparing to advance. Two divisions of Meade's 5 Corps have begun marching via River Road, but they are not a threat. They will soon realize that they are encircled and will run back like chickens. I might need to help with that. We are now marching to secure Orange Turnpike, which leads to the town of Fredericksburg. We must also secure the other road which leads to Fredericksburg, Orange Plank Road. Almost all our forces in Fredericksburg are dispatched to defend those roads and will soon join us. Let's hope the risk we take pays off. As long as you aren't trying to win this whole stage right at the start, day 1 of this map is rather benign. There are only 2 places where interesting stuff should happen. One is up here in the top right corner. Meade's 5 Corps will be sending in a half dozen infantry and 2 cannon batteries. Everyone save 1 battery will spawn in right here, and the last cannon will be just after them here. The Union also have defenders in fortified positions at the woods at this side, but we'll just let them sit there for now. I said I'll be using the first 2 days of this map to eliminate groups of Union forces, and for day 1, Meade's forces will be the target. I will send up most of my infantry from the upper spawn point along the right edge of the map and spread them out like this. 1 in the bottom left to prevent any ideas from the Union about a flank, 1 at the woods to the left to intercept the last cannon, and the rest of the infantry around the spawn point to ambush them. I should arrive just in time for when they spawn. I will also be sending all cavalry squads from both corps just behind the ambushing infantry. When I feel that the enemy have been sufficiently damaged, I'll send in the half dozen horses to finish the job, while the infantry maintain an encirclement to prevent a breakout during the panic. It's going to be a narrow margin, as day 1 has a hard end at 1430, so I need to balance out the risk to the cavalry with the realization that if I don't do damage fast enough, then I won't be able to wipe them out before the day ends. The other interesting point will be at the lower left objective. The Union will send a couple brigades down to capture it right at the start, and will arrive there before I can. However, they won't have enough to hold me off, let alone with them standing in the open, and they have a tendency not to move from the flag after taking it. So I'll just let them keep it while I move up my first 2 sets of arriving units, and then blast them with cannons. Once the point is mine again, I'll spread out a bit and take the woods, then push slowly up to try to keep the Union spotted. Not because I fear an attack, but because I want to see someone for my cannons to continue shooting at. Odds are my own forces will be arriving right at the Union's defensive here by the time the day ends. You'll notice a ton of defensive points we can occupy. The ones in the open are rather terrible, so don't bother. The ones in the woods are actually fairly decent, but the border they form is kinda wonky, so I'll leave that up to you. If you need a quick boost to melee ability to fend off a charging Union force, feel free to occupy them. I'm making sure to send my cannons through the thinnest part of the woods so that they arrive at the front, like, sometime before the day ends. We are winning. Push them back. But General, beware pursuing too close to their camp because their reinforcements will soon arrive. More of our forces have shown up, but they won't have time to get to the top right. I'll just have them head to the center where the cannons can continue to get freebie experienced against a mostly stationary foe. Okay, that guy getting behind my cannons isn't what I had in mind. I mean, he's lost half of his brigade, but that doesn't mean I want half of a brigade shooting at my artillery either. Nor do I want my scouts getting charged down. Okay, well, wherever he's heading now, it's no longer a threat. I'll just have a picket against him reappearing, and walk to the center to find bigger Union targets. Hey, the Union showed up right where the intro said they would. Well, with a hole opened in my ambush, I guess now's the time to send in the cavalry to mess everyone up. Good luck, men. And one of my units is already panicked. It's a good start. You know what? For the last couple of minutes, everyone else get in there. Why not? Proceeding to the next day. We surprised Hooker with our determined attack. Hooker lost his nerve and seems to be afraid of our army. Probably he thinks we outnumber him, and this is why he prepared a solid defense in all fronts. It seems very probably that he is not going to attack and waits for us to take the initiative. Our scouts found that their right flank is hanging in the air, defended lightly only by Howard's 11 Corps. One of your corps will make a long march around their right flank. This is a very risky tactic because our center is now very thinly protected. Nevertheless, if Hooker remains passive, our corps is expected to arrive in the evening and strike a powerful blow to the unsuspected Yankees. I'm going to head to camp, but not to refill units. I just want to take a save between days. This is a long map, and while I don't like saving mid-fight because it gives off that save scum feeling, I will save between days just so that I don't have to replay multiple hours if I make a bad misclick. The Union camp in Chancellorsville is very well protected. Couch's 2 Corps defends the east side of the camp. Meade's 5 Corps secures their left flank, well, what's left of them anyway. Slocum's 12 Corps stands in the center. Sickles' 3 Corps covers Slocum's left and expanded his brigades around the camp up to this section. Howard's 11 Corps is at the far right flank and is the target of our flanking corps. We are going to punish Hooker's poor defense in this sector very soon. The Yankees are still receiving reinforcements from this road, so it is advised to not overextend because they already outnumber us. General, we gamble by dividing our army and attacking a bigger force. We should be careful because the enemy may decide to attack our positions. Time for this stage's big part. 1st Corps has been redeployed across the bottom right, and 2nd Corps is going in piecemeal from the left edge of this much expanded map. The Union will be doing interesting things in 2 spots. The first is down here at the left edge of 1st Corps' line, where you may notice a lack of actual units having started over here. So that is the first thing to rectify. The enemy will attack 1st Corps' forces, and the brunt of that attack will be coming from this direction. So getting over a lot of extra infantry and cannons to cover this area is a priority, especially right at the edge point here. You do not want to let them sweep into the side of, or completely behind, your entire defense. I'll be moving my cavalry down here as well, to take advantage of any enemy unit that leaves itself open after the main force crashes into my army, though I have to be even more careful than usual with the horsies, or with them having taken a pasting during day 1, and with me still needing them on day 3. You are also going to want to make sure your guys are defending the edge of the trees rather than the pre-deployed defensive positions. You want to be firing at the enemy while they are in the open and you are in the trees. Using the defensive points, they can get into the trees themselves before engaging you, and that would be a much tougher proposition. On the right side of your line, the enemy's movements will be less, but still non-zero. So unlike most of day 1, you do have to leave some troops on this side. Place your guys in the trees, and if possible, within firing range of the river. Also, the sniper team will be moving around this area, getting spotting info for the cannons, and taking shots at whatever they can find. On the left, the other interesting thing the Union does is getting smashed in this area. Our goal is going to be to conduct a major encircling of here. Despite what the day intro said, the enemy's actual force is usually located around this spot, with a couple units floating around. Ideally, we want to try and get on all sides of them, and make them the day 2 target for elimination. You don't want to take the entire timer, however, as we also want to press east to near the final objective. As long as you've managed to cut off the enemy here, then there should be no units standing between you and the base's last line of defenders. Any additional damage we can do to them this phase with our artillery is less troops we have to press through on day 3. Anyone who escapes the encirclement in a non-eastern direction, just have someone of yours chase them to keep them off the backs of any cannons moving east, but don't expend too much effort chasing individual brigades. I'm going to be pausing the game a lot on day 2 to keep my orders to the troops timely. The fact is, there is a lot of battlefield to watch over, and a lapse of even a few seconds observation can cause a big hit to one of my own units, which you'll get to see for yourselves. Ah, the Union is sending me the gift of a cannon. It would be impolite of me to refuse. I mean, I know this is a scrub team, but I was expecting the cannons to take way more damage and break, rather than hit me with 2 canister volleys. Ouch. Yeesh, found one of those random brigades. I really didn't need that hit to my cavalry. And my sniper team's been seen. Arg. Okay, seriously, what's with the walking of cannons right up to my tree-line defenders? This was a bad idea. I tried to surround this guy with 4 units. That was too many to take away from the main encirclement, and still not enough to actually surround and eliminate him. It might have worked, but I would have needed to split off 4 skirmish squads to complete the closings of the openings. Okay, calculated risk time. The Union will be panicked for about 30 seconds. A bit more if my skirmishers shoot at them. If I can get the cavalry to knock out the other units and get to them before they stop routing... All my cavalry is getting medals at the end of this stage, if any of them survive it. At this point, you might be asking yourself, couldn't he take the objective and win the stage? It doesn't appear anyone is manning the defenses. And the answer is probably yes, though I wasn't sure how fast the Union would react. Since I can also win this stage during Day 3 Phase 1, I'm instead going to draw it out so that you can see it. As a side bonus, I get to wipe out most of Hooker's army. I should have moved those cannons up further. I could have done a bunch more damage. And these guys I should not have moved up. This is why spotting is important. I thought I could get up to that one group of cannons and back out, but instead I found like all of their cannons and an enemy infantry in my face. Sorry about that, scrub team. Proceeding to the next day. Yesterday's flanking attack was a nasty surprise for the Federals. We are gaining ground on their right. Hooker very defensively shifted his forces to defend the camp. General Reynolds' 1 Corps covers now their right flank. With our cavalry, we divert his forces as much as possible so he cannot reinforce their center. General Howard's 11 Corps is in no condition to fight and is positioned to their far left and rear. The corps of Meade, Sickles, Slocum, and Couch are now defending Chancellorsville. It is still dawn, and we have one more chance to attack and take it. Chancellorsville is still heavily defended by the Yankees. Hooker has shifted most of his forces around the camp. Our corps is ready to charge and repulse them. This hilly grove, called Hazel Grove, can be an excellent position to deploy our artillery and launch an infantry assault. They want me to attack from open ground? How silly. General Reynolds' 1 Corps is guarding their right flank and is pinned by our cavalry. He may be able to send reinforcements, so watch this road. Oh, I'll do more than watch it. General Howard's 11 Corps is quite battered and defends currently their left flank. He is not considered a serious threat, and we don't expect him to participate in the fight. This morning, if we capture the camp, we can claim victory. Otherwise, we must return back to our positions and fight for a draw. Goal? Good luck, General. I forgot to save after day 2, didn't I? I guess that just means I can't try this part twice. There's not much to say about day 3. The Unions still have units in the defensive walls here, so we aren't going to push in from that side. Just put our guys facing them to let them know we're there. Also, a batch of Union reinforcements will arrive from here at 7:35. I'll be sure to have an infantry ambush ready, with everything that's left of my cavalry standing behind them waiting to charge the survivors. Other than that, I'm just going to be taking everything I have and making a huge surround. Despite the units I eliminated earlier, this is going to be a lot of enemy troops, so a long artillery barrage to soften them up is going to be in order. They will have some forces in the south, but I will try and push them out from there ASAP. May as well try to damage them in the open before they get to all the good defensive spots. But the main goal is to have the infantry take the woods in these spots, get our cannons in behind them, and just pound what's left of the Union repeatedly, starting with their cannons. Not a lot of maneuver this time, just a slog followed by getting that objective before the stage's hard end at 11:30. I don't really have a whole lot to say here, but there's too much going on to just drop into fast forward. As such, here's something I had laying around. A letter home from a Confederate soldier.
My dearest Clementine, well, the boys have done it again. We sacked Morrisville day before last. And those men were dug in like ticks in that town with no cover around for a mile. Turned for us, though, when enough of our men died that we could stack them in barricades and hide behind them. Do you remember little Johnny Northrup? Faked his papers to join at 14, he did. Well, he got hit, and we placed him on the wall. Only to have crazy Ephraim accidentally shoot his hand off. And don't you know, when he done that, Johnny sat right up, came back to life, howling with pain, looking at his hand in disbelief. Now, I consider the lost hand more than enough payment to come back to us. But then he bled out, and he died. So we're back on the march now. These days seem never-ending. We march till we drop, sometimes 12, 14 hours a day. We saved up our rations, and Steve made a fantastic stew earlier this evening. Now, unfortunately, old Captain Withers tripped on the march today and impaled himself on his bayonet. And he died. Well, a new fella named Lieutenant Baker, a good man, but a damned awful brown-nosing snitch he was. Well, he tried to take over for old Withers as soon as we set up camp. Slept in Withers' tent and everything. But then he cut himself shaving, and he died. We weren't much for Steve's stew after that. So I write you now, here, underneath the stars. So much death and destruction. You remember my second cousin Stuart? That buffoon was smoking one of his daddy's cigars the other night. We woke up to a pile of ash where his tent used to be. And of course, he had died. But for some reason, in that pile of ash was infested with crickets. They swarmed out on Deaf Henry as soon as he happened upon the burnt tent. And he died. So I think about you and all the time we had together, and I can't help but picture you in that blue dress your mama made for you after the wedding. My heart leaps every time I imagine how it used to show off your one good ankle. I will make it back to you, Clem, no matter what I have to do. You just think of me when you're milking the cows. Yours in love, Jimmy J. Johnson, Jr.
ambush target is here. Looks like the general wants to eat all of the fire from the first volley, so let's oblige him. Wait, I hear melee? Sniper team, what are you doing? Well, I just lost a third of my sniper squad. Let's lose some horses too. All cavalry, charge. Apparently, this fight is so fierce that it's able to penetrate the thin yellow line of physical reality separation. Wow. In any event, the reinforcements are all gone, and I don't think any of my cavalry units shattered. I could continue to hold the Union in place at the farm while swinging forces around to the top right to press them into a tight circle, but I absolutely don't want to run out of the timer before I get a chance to take that objective. So instead, I'll press the objective now and just take what casualties I can as the Union retreat during the contested timer. victory. I just want to state that this casualty ratio is absolutely bonkers. In all my attempts at this stage, including the one I played the same as I did for the video pre-recording, I never got fewer than 5 digits worth of casualties. Granted that one sniper team got hosed, and all of my cavalry got smashed, but this is way above expectations. Sorted by casualties, and even of the several thousand men I lost, the vast majority was on scrub teams. Well, and cavalry. Got my positioning correct on this map, I did. Two dead brigadier generals. Honestly, I've been so lucky this walkthrough, I can't complain about that happening on this stage. That is a lot of Enfields. So that's it. The stage is over. Now I can go back to camp and refill the units that took the beatings, especially my cavalry. Good thing I get to take a break between stages. Or do I? Our forces in Fredericksburg have been overrun by Sedgwick's corps. They realized that we undermanned the fortifications and stormed our defenses. We must immediately intercept them before they flank our army that fights at Chancellorsville. We can only spare up to 10 brigades for this battle. Good luck, General. With no chance to return to camp, this stage's third massive surprise rears its ugly head, and I have to drop immediately into another fight. A look at the top shows that the Union will have a pretty impressive force, given that I will only get 10 brigades. To be continued.